Some good, some bad. Some some people looked really ready. Others looked scared and timid. Um, it just kind of a mixed bag. But at the end of the day, I told them from the jump, we're trying to get a baseline today and just kind of get our feet wet. So some really encouraging things there. Obviously, probably the highlight of the night is Kaylin Chio, the freshman, just in terms of how she handled everything. And I thought Lexi's ice did a good job too. Lexi was, from a training perspective, is behind some of the others because we had to go real slow with her early in the fall with some physical stuff with her ankles, when she had gotten here. So, some really good spots, but I saw some things that were also concerning. So, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Like it's hard to. That's what I just told them when I circled them up. Like I don't want to be Debbie Downer, and this is our baseline. This is not trying to win a championship. But at the same time, I saw some experienced people look timid tonight, and that's concerning as a coach. I don't want that to happen. I saw the freshmen seem to have a little more poise than some of our more experienced people, and so we got to get that ironed out. And so that's it. Colin, they took your tripod away
like
from
that?
you, or what happened?
It's resourcefulness right there. Yeah. Kaylin, like you said, nails really in all four events. Is that kind of what you expect, and what is her potential really?
Well, we've seen it all fall, and you never know. I think she's shown as a competitor even before she got here. She's got an edge to her. She's got a little bit of a tenacity that I think is a really great quality. She's just a competitor, and she showed up in a really good place physically, and that's a credit to her club coaches and herself, knowing they managed her really really well, and so she's probably had the most consistent fall in terms of being able to physically do what she needed to do to prepare. So. I think sky's the limit, and it's good to see when anytime you see changeover in a team that marks the loss or the moving on of some great competitors from the past, to have somebody immediately set themselves up to be in that position is really good, and so I think she's certainly doing a great job of that.
Yeah, the split squad kind of night. What kind of look does that give you? Why did you want to do that? Because
I wanted to give as many people as we could reasonably and safely an opportunity to see what they would do, because when you get out of that comfort zone over there in our gym, and you get into the competitive situation over hard surfaces, different lighting, different spatial awareness, all those things. Things can change for people. And so it's important to get out of that comfort zone. There's a lot of really good, consistent stuff going on in the gym. But when you get it out, what does it look like when you get into a different environment? And so we just wanted to get as many as we could. And we still are not, what I would call a full boat. There's some people that still have to get going and get caught up. Alona had a little bit of a setback a couple weeks ago, or she would have been doing more than just bars tonight. So she's been out. I didn't even know if she would do bars until a few days ago. So her rehab on her Achilles went slower than Connor's has, and then she had a little thing that hurt the bottom of her foot on beam a couple weeks ago, and we just haven't been able to get her completely going. She, 3-4 weeks ago, I would have thought she'd have been in on 3 events, and then we have that little. It's nothing major, but it hurts, and so we're just taking it easy on that.
Yeah, just the idea that you could have so many tough spots to decide for a rotation. With the number of girls that you have, the challenge now is to you, right, to find the lineup out of that?
Not tonight. It wouldn't be. It's pretty easy to pick the best 6 tonight. Across the board. I want it to be difficult. I want it to be harder. But for that to happen, we've got to have people challenge, and we got to have people push, and we got to have people show that they can handle the environment and the expectation. And I don't. I say this every year. I don't want to get in a situation where you have to ride the same people week after week after week. And some people, somebody's got to step up and start asserting themselves a little more consistently to really challenge. Because I thought when I look at what I look at tonight, and I've got projected scores from the judges, that aren't hard and fast, but there's a pretty clear separation between our best 6 or 7 and everybody else across the board. Notwithstanding, Haley came off the beam. That doesn't happen. I'm not concerned about, some things that are what I would call aberrations, but yeah, I am concerned. I'm a little concerned that some of the depth looked scared.
Connor McLean, the 2 events she was able to do, how did you feel she did? And just having her out there, I'm sure, was a huge plus. And KJ didn't do anything tonight, did he?
Yeah, Connor, just getting back out there, you come off an injury like that in May, and you're probably a little gun shy. And so I thought she did an amazing. It's the first time she's hit hard surfaces was tonight. We've landed on mats, but we're on resi pits and everything. So she was a little tentative. That's understandable. I believe Connor has shown us what kind of competitor she is. So it's great to see her back out there, and I think that's a big lift for us as she gets more and more comfortable on those 2 events. And gets really dialed in, and then we'll worry about whether we are able to add anything else. But right now, it's just let's keep her pain-free. Let's make sure that we can that she's such a big cog in the wheel on those 2 events that we really need to go slow with anything else. KJ's an internal matter. I don't have much to say on that.
Yeah, Jay, when you have a team come into a season as the reigning champs, do you worry about complacency a little bit?
I've been worried about it since the day we won it, because it's the hardest thing for a program to do. The first hardest things to do is get over the hump and win one, and then the next hardest thing is to make sure you don't walk around acting like you've arrived. And I don't feel like that's what they've done. So I'm not saying that any of tonight's issues have anything to do with complacency. But complacency is funny because sometimes it doesn't always show up in the physical work that you're doing. Sometimes it shows up mentally in things that become habit. It's easy to disguise, where you are mentally sometimes because things are so repetitive in what we do that. And so it's on us as coaches to inject some competitive situational things in the gym to try and make sure that they're where they need to be mentally and to be sharp enough. Yeah, I think every coach would be concerned about that. I think having been through it at other places, it's hard. It's hard to come back from that. It's such an emotional release that happened last year. And the celebration that has been protracted since then, it's a blessing, but it's potentially a curse. And so we have to guard against thinking that this team has done anything, because it hasn't. It hasn't. It has the potential to do the same thing. It has the ability to do anything that it sets its mind to, and goes after it in a similar fashion as that team, but this is not that team, and so we have to make sure that they understand that.